Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's definitely not jacked. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast here to talk about a wild night of a veto competition. And again, cliffhanger, what is going to happen with the double veto ceremony? We'll find out on Thursday night, but we have great panel to talk it through because this is a real treat, everybody. Consider me the third wheel of podcasting tonight as we're joined by podcasting's number one showmance. First, you know her from so many things, the RHAP B&B, the Drag Race Rahap Up, the Masked Singer Rahap Up, much more. Please welcome Dr. Liana Boraas. Liana, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Rob. I'm just such an honor to be able to talk about the hottest veto. Who would have thought that would be the topic of conversation tonight? Sure, cliffhanger ending. Sure, a couple veto throws, but the hottest Otev? Okay, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we're here for it. Very nice hat that you have here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Going full bucket hat. Just feel like it's the style of the season and just really want to feel the vibe of the house guests.
Okay. All right. Thank you for bringing some vibe to the podcast because I feel like that we, so rarely get that.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Always, always. Just, call me Vibe and Vicky. Jelly. I don't know. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Okay. It could be one day.
Okay. Yeah. Hashtag Vibe and Vicky. All right. And then also, what a treat that we have back with us, the other half of this amazing podcasting showmance. You can hear him on the Masked Singer Rahap Up. Also, Mr. 90 Day Fiance, the Nipple King. It's Pooya Zambakili. Pooya, how are you?
Yeah, Rob. Pleasure to be here.
No, I don't do that.
I had to do it.
That's the Jack Jellyfish?
It's Uncle Veto. It's the Jack Jellyfish. It's Pooya's cousin, apparently. I'm like many people rolled in one. But one thing I definitely am.
Yeah, tell me about what you're wearing here tonight.
Rob, I'm rocking a shirt. Trying to be professional. And then I'm rocking a bucket hat that I got off H&M. So there you go. Yes.
And tell me about the shirt.
What about it? It's listen, this isn't that fancy. This is Old Navy. I'm rocking an Old Navy shirt. I'm gonna snitch on myself, but I'm doing the thing. It's good.
Hi, boy. You guys are having way too much fun over at your house tonight.
Sorry.
It's a riot.
Happy to have you here.
Do you normally podcast without a shirt? Is that what you're like? I've got a shirt looking professional.
A button-up shirt. I wear a t-shirt. Yeah.
I see.
How often am I rocking a button-up? Yeah.
I'm glad you clarified. That was truly the question. I'm sure on everyone's
You're
mind.
taking me to task. You see what I do. You know what I'm wearing.
I don't know what you do when I'm not home. Perhaps this is formal attire for you. Anyway, it's fine.
So nice to have you here. This is going to be a lot of fun tonight. Of course, we'll take your questions later on the show. robiswebsite.com/BB questions. If you have questions about Big Brother 23, the Jack Jellyfish, Pooya and Liana, whatever you want to get to, robiswebsite.com/BB questions. Of course, on Thursday, we will be back live after the eviction to talk about who's going to go home between all of the many people that could go up on the block. We'll talk about that also in the spoiler section of the podcast. All right. So the night we went all in on Otev. You know, I had played this past week on the slop that they were promoting this week. Like, you don't want to miss Big Brother this week because that they've got twists and money and the return of a legend. And boy, we went all in on Otev.
I've a lot of time spent on Otev, which I think was a choice. But you know, they spent so much time building all the little jellyfish arms, and obviously you got to spend time on them.
Got to spend time on Otev. Pooya, were you pumped up? Were you hyped for like walking around today? Like Liana, it's Otev tonight.
Oh yeah, you know me. That's all I talked about today. Absolutely. What was a pleasant surprise? I mean, okay, can we just talk about this right out the gate? confirmed, was this Arnold or an impersonator? I think it was the Terminator.
This was an impersonator. I mean, there are some famous impersonators out there, and my suspicion is that there was a guy for years on the Howard Stern show that used to do would call up like celebrities and prank celebrities with this Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I think it sounds like it's that guy. Like if it was the real Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, they've had Gilbert Gottfried do it, unless that was a Gilbert Gottfried impersonator. But I can't, unless secretly we found out that Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the biggest undercover Big Brother fan, that I think that this is a like celebrity impersonator of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, who knows? He could have been this close to celebrity Big Brother, Rob. We could have had, the governor in there, the governator, if you will. That's right, California. That's and so I mean, look. He could be on Cameo. Okay, so maybe we do a check and just quickly see, because it's 100% an impersonator. Like, come on, it is. And it could be better.
Yeah. So it could be better or couldn't be better?
It could be better. This isn't one of those. I think so. I don't know. Yes. Maybe it's been a while. He's off. I just see him now just chilling in probably a bucket hat, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like biking around in one of those sand bikes that has the really thick tires. So, oh my God, sand bike, tires, jellyfish. Maybe it is him. It all makes sense. He's at the BB Beach Club. Okay, I'm putting it all together.
I mean, is there any other celebrity clientele at the BB Beach Club?
Oof, who would be at the BB Beach Club? Kato Caitlin?
Kato Caitlin.
Kato Caitlin, yeah. That would be like an impression of Kato Caitlin. Might be Kato Caitlin.
Yeah, that's the celebrity impersonator.
Yeah.
The stage guy.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to the power of veto, but I guess let's talk things through. Let me just get the quick check-in. Liana, how are you feeling as we're here at the halfway point, Big Brother 23?
Yeah, I saw that this is actually the halfway point. So they're probably having their halfway party today, or hopefully they are. So far, I mean, this has been a really enjoyable, really fun season. I think the fact there's so much discussion going on just makes it more and more interesting. And, obviously a lot of that surrounds the cookout. But when you have such a fabulous cast, it got to a point after Brent went home that I was fascinated by everybody. And that to me makes a really great season.
All right. Well, we had the Veto Derby in the last episode, and we were going to have 4 people get to bet on who could be or who would win the second veto. But in the meantime, before we got to that, there was some talk about the targets. We found out that Kylan has 3 people that he could be looking at: Claire, Alyssa, or Brittany. Those are the 3 people he could be targeting to go home.
Yeah, absolute shock to no one, because these are 3 people that are outside of his alliance. The other ones that are outside of his alliance in DX and Sarah Beth, he's got links to. So it only makes sense that these would be the 3 people he would be looking at. And then we did see the citation for why Claire gets chosen is because, obviously, of the targets that she mentioned in her one-on-one with him.
Yeah. That was very fun when Tiffany was telling us, like, Claire, why would you say that? Now I have to go and tell Kylan that's not what you really meant.
Picking up the pieces, but like, how is Claire supposed to know about the cookout? That's the whole thing. It's supposed to be hidden. And so I guess the whole issue that Tiffany had was just don't reveal your targets at all. But this has been going on for weeks now, where the HOH has the pattern of, let me ask you direct questions, and whether or not they keep track of it with candy, gummy bears, whatever on the chessboard. That's been a very common theme. So I don't understand why now, Tiffany, it's that big a deal.
I want to go back to when Kylan talks to Big D. Apparently, Big D feels like that he is snowing everybody, because that he's able to pretend, oh, I don't get along with Kylan, but he really does. But Kylan or Big D is actually a little bit unsure about what Kylan is doing. He tells us this is how he feels about Kylan.
Kylan's like Batman. You don't know what's on his mind. I still don't know who the target is, but I just have to hope it's not me or any of the former Jokers.
Now, Pooya, is Kylan like Batman because he's targeting Jokers?
That would be the connector, because definitely it's not, you don't know what's on Batman's mind. I feel like Batman's mind's pretty linear. Like, you know exactly what he's trying to do. Like, his mission is very much set out. So it's got to be the Joker's connection.
Oh, okay. I feel like there's a few things here. So first, Kylan is like Batman. That's one question. And then there's the question of like, does Batman not know? You never know what's on Batman's mind. I feel like Pooya answered that one well. Yes, we know what's on Batman's mind. So then is Kylan still like Batman? Because I don't know what's on Kylan's mind, but there could be some other connective tissue like the Joker's.
Should we talk through of what are the ways that Kylan is like Batman? He stays up all night.
He stays up all night. He wears a costume.
Yes,
right? That's
true.
got the ears, slightly different animal, but I think similar. What else? What else do we know about Batman? Is Kylan a billionaire? I don't think so.
Sure. So.
When he has his one-on-ones, he usually has someone keeping the time, kind of like an Alfred, if you will. So he does have that going for him, maybe.
Does he have a secret lair underneath the HOH room also? That could be the case.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
what else do we know about Batman?
Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm not really sure exactly why that was the reference that Big D was going for. Okay. So Derek F is telling the Jokers like, "Hey, I'm the target. It's gonna be me." Pooya, how much of this is like legit? Like I'm really like having some trouble with like I thought I knew what was going on in the house, but then when I watch these episodes, I get more confused.
The episodes are designed to confuse you, especially tonight's episode. They definitely decided we're gonna show you what we want to show you, which is a little scary considering that there's a vote happening again tomorrow for some money. But as far as Derek F goes, I'm not gonna lie to you. Independent of the episode, I've gone back and forth with him because sometimes it really feels like he's buying into what he's selling, and he's a panic. He's all nervous. He's cussing people out, but it's all a facade.
Well, I'm not a betting woman, but when Fees came back after I wouldn't go in the high rollers room after noms happened. I thought that Big D forgot he volunteered to be a pawn. I was convinced, give the man an Oscar, cast him in the next Batman movie, perhaps, because I legitimately thought he forgot. It was a late night conversation he had with Kylan when he volunteered. So I just assumed that he completely forgot.
So, all right, we're going to get to the veto draw because the veto draw is going to be very important because ultimately it's going to determine, the people that are going to be that you're going to bet on for the second veto this week. So Kylan ends up drawing Alyssa, Claire draws Azza, and Big D gets house guest choice. Brittany, Pooya, we got to see a bit of a convoluted Joker plan where then Big D, if he was going to bet on Brittany, that would potentially that Brittany could use the veto on Big D, and then Azza couldn't go up on the block, and then all the Jokers could be safe this week.
Yes. So in typical Jokers fashion, they picked one specific scenario, put all their eggs in that basket, and said, okay, for us to be successful, there's a 1 out of 6 chance this will happen, so let's bank on it. So if I bet on Brittany and Brittany wins the veto, we have 2 vetoes. And that way, 2 into 3 is good math. And if we use 2 vetoes, we can save all 3 of us. And really, they all seem to be very down with the plan, and the draw couldn't have been better for them. He literally gets to pick house guest choice. So this was kind of like a fairy tale beginning into this scenario that they really thought was going to work out.
Yeah, they thought that they had it all set up and ready to go.
Yep. They had a 50% chance to win, and they did not. They did not.
They did not.
The whole Azza throwing it thing was fascinating because most of the house guests after the veto were more fixated on Kylan and Kylan throwing the veto. But here to see Azah, just like, Azah, if you win too, that's also advantageous because you will get a veto. So they're just, they're stuck in their little Joker ways.
But Liana, why play for a good scenario when you could potentially try to get the perfect scenario?
I mean, perfect strangers, perfect scenario. It just all comes together.
Yeah.
If only.
All right. Well, let's start to get to Otev because they said, okay, house guests, we'll give you a clue what this is going to be. And they put veto backwards up on the screen. And these people lost their damn minds. Like, oh my God, veto. Ah!
Yeah, clue. It was a clue.
Mm-hmm.
The whole gag is it's a veto backwards, but that's fine. Big Brother gonna Big Brother. It was like the Caitlyn puzzle equivalent of,
They were so pumped up.
Yeah.
Everybody was so excited that they were going to get to play Otev. And then when they went outside to see him, that the hype was delivered on because listen to this.
Otev is Jack. He's looking good. This is probably the hottest Otev in Big Brother history.
The hottest Otev in Big Brother history, Liana.
Oh my gosh. The presence of greatness, truly. The hottest Otev. I didn't know that the hottest Otev would be a jellyfish. So that was an interesting choice. But I guess because he's jacked, although I really felt the whole reason why Big Brother didn't name one of the teams the Jacks is because the Jacks from, previous seasons, they wanted to distance themselves from them. So the fact that then they went all out on, because I'm so jacked, it felt truly like a step in a different direction.
Now, Pooya, should we be taking Big D's word on this? Because the only other person that we've heard this season that Big D says is also very attractive is Frenchie.
Yeah, Big D's taste is acquired and specific to Big D. I'm not gonna.
That's
true.
In the comments, yeah,
that's true. Listen, the fact of the matter is, when I heard this, I thought that's a ridiculous notion, and then I thought about Otev's past. Yeah. And all the vomiting and the puking and the coughing and the sneezing. Yeah. The fact, just on the simple fact that this jellyfish did not shoot liquid at these house guests already makes it one of the more hotter Otevs to me. Sight unseen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the criteria. Well, I guess it depends who you're asking if that's the criteria for hotness. But,
yeah. I guess, Liana, how did we get to the jacked jellyfish?
Let's see. So they reached their hand in a bag of animal toys and pulled out a jellyfish and said, okay, what is alliteration that goes with jellyfish? And we got to Jack Jellyfish. No, I mean, I think obviously the BB Beach Club theme played heavily here.
Sure.
Yeah. So jellyfish, naturally.
Yeah. If I may submit for the next time you do the BBB&B with Mike, maybe if you guys can ad-lib some or improvise some future Big Brother Otevs.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. A prediction. Where will we be in the future?
Where could it go?
Well, I do wonder, are we abandoning then the projectile liquiding Otev? Is that a thing of the past? Or are we moving on now to something a little less viscous?
No. Given that the BB floater ship had people puking off the side of it, the liquid's not going anywhere. If anything, the liquid's more neon colored now. That's the evolution here.
Yeah, what was last season's Otev? Do we remember?
The salamander. No. The psychedelic salamander, was that it? Was that last year?
Was that Otev?
The psychedelic salamander, yeah, and because that was the one that stood on the balcony. And see, that didn't spit on anybody.
That's a hot one. That's pretty hot, Otev.
Yeah, that was pretty hot.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
All right, so Jack Jellyfish. Not only is the Jack Jellyfish hot, also that the Jack Jellyfish has a lot to say. Here is our introduction to the Jacked Jellyfish.
Do me a favor. Show me your pump. Come on, flex it. Show me your triceps. Pump up your quads. Nice try, you beach bums. You'll never be as big as me. Move your weak, pathetic bodies and get up here. Do it.
I'm not going to lie to you. Without the visual, out of context, some of that should not be played on here, it feels like. I shouldn't have heard that. I feel dirty. Like, what just happened?
Pooya, what is your problem? Lighten up.
I can't. Getting jacked. Yes.
You so
Pump it. Do it now. I'm so jacked.
yeah. They love to make Otev curse.
And then all the house guests go,
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. He just cursed.
Yeah.
My pearls.
Are there any Schwarzenegger quotes that Otev should have used? I feel like they went with the impression, but we didn't get one like hasta la vista, baby.
I think they could have get to the chopper, but like get to the slide.
Get to the slopper.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
It was missed opportunity. I think the amount of cursing in general, or maybe just I can't tell if it's Otev, but I feel it's a season thing also, especially given some of the like Kai's jackass punishment. There's a lot of ass talk on this season. Well, like scrawny ass, move your ass. It's a lot. It's a lot. I noticed it.
Yes. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that says more about me than it does about Big Brother, but I'm just saying that's what I noticed.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna get going with our Otev competition, and the first one is where you have to find Christian and Travis, and ultimately Big D is going to be the first person eliminated. And Pooya, already we've seen a lot of gifs of Big D sliding back down the hill.
Yeah, he really put a dent in the competition in the literal sense. Sadly, they did him dirty. They hit him with all the clips, all the I'm about to go up this hill, cut to him dropping. It was a sad showing by Big D. And, I feel bad for him a little bit, but also it was a little funny. I'll be honest.
Well, Frasers don't give up. So
That's true.
Frasers don't give up. Yeah, he did on like the prop log, as you mentioned, that he hits it with such force that he like left a big dent in like the fake log. Yeah. It's a very big dent.
They had a good time with the sound effects also with that. They just, sprinkle that in. I feel bad. A part of me is like, Big D, you need to go before slip and slide because I'm terrified for what Big Brother is going to do.
They might run out of anything else to show us. They might just put like 20 minutes of sound effects for that. That'll be a lot.
All right. One Joker out. All right. Next round. This is, as Liana mentioned, this is the round where Azah is trying to throw it to Brittany. Now, I've always seen in Otev, like, there's like a pool of like where all of the answers are, but this jumped out to me a little bit where everybody like has like their own sort of vat of jelly that they were all stuck in.
Are you jelly?
Yeah. And everybody had their own thing. Liana, like, I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy guy, but like, they don't want to throw somebody's answer in there. Couldn't they just leave somebody's answer out and ensure they don't win the veto?
Always a possibility. Same with the coin flip conspiracy. You never know. I felt this was more for a COVID safety reason, obviously. Not, we don't want to be sharing jelly. Everybody have your own jelly. Be sure to wash your hands if you were going to touch someone else's jelly. So I just think it's really important to keep that in mind. Maybe that's what Big Brother was going for.
Yeah. Because Pooya, then we saw where Azah drops the jelly jar where Brittany can see it, but then did Brittany use the Azah jelly?
I believe so. At least that's what it played as. You know, they definitely made it seem to be that way.
She said, "Oh, I noticed Ozza is doing something," but then I felt like that she didn't just pick up what Ozza gave her. She did.
At least there was no confessional that alluded to, and she gave me the answer. It was just out of the corner of my eye. Ozza threw something at me. Question mark?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, Ozza. The fact of the matter is, Ozza no longer had access to her jelly. So she left it for Brittany, and I don't think Brittany was ready for that jelly. So maybe she got her own.
Must be jelly because jam don't shake. So it's fine.
We noticed that Tiffany's like, see, classic Ozza. See, this is what she does. She's pissed, but
any opportunity, she'll take it.
We didn't see any other fallout from that. Okay. Then finally, after Ozza threw the competition, Brittany is eliminated in the very next round.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
All the work done. Thrown aside.
Yeah. I feel like that Ozza might have had a better shot to win this than Brittany did.
I think that was what Sarah Beth thought as well, right? That's why Sarah Beth put her bet on Ozza, because she felt that Ozza would have been more likely to win the competition. So just didn't come through. The Tangerine, Travis, and Mango Frenchie of it all.
So, all right. Ultimately, then we saw Claire eliminated, and then Claire had to watch on as it came down to Alyssa and Kylan. And Alyssa said, "Hey, I want this." And Kylan is going to let her have it, much to the disappointment of Claire, because Kylan really has a hard time of doing fake throwing of challenges.
He can't fake any of these things at all. I mean, he did too, usually you want to try and maybe be a little slower in this competition, take your time, set the tone that you're not all that. But in the previous round, he was literally first one up there and made easy work of it. Every time he came down the slide, it was like one motion. He slid, hopped over the log somehow every time, and was on his feet ready to go. So there was so much hustle that by this last one, he's smiling to himself. He's looking at all the jellies, ooh, which jelly? It's like Rebecca Black on front. Which seat should I take? Which jelly is the one for me? Guy,
wow.
Swim in the vat a little bit. I don't know. It was too easy. I didn't like it.
It's Wednesday. Got to get down on Wednesday. I almost expected the Curb Your Enthusiasm music to start playing as Kai just stood there holding the jellies, just sort of looking around smiling. No, but don't smile. And Claire with the side eye was so amazing. Just the eye roll, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. But Kylan's plan was just absolutely bananas. BANANAS, because
later in the episode.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So maybe it was all part of the plan, because he told people ahead of time, and we got this diary room here saying, I want to win so that I can take Claire off the block to build trust. He told everybody he was doing that. So Claire knew what was going to happen. And so it doesn't make any sense, because wouldn't you just want to give her the veto? That is also an element of trust. In fact, it's probably more trust to do it that way. So choices.
Not that much trust that he wanted to basically he didn't want to give her the gift card so that she could order her own thing. He's like, no. I'm going to the store. I'll buy the thing and I'm going to bring it to you. And then I brought you this gift, but it wasn't what I wanted. No. I got this for you.
Yeah, no, I can do it. I can do it myself. No. I will do it for you.
Yeah.
Very
So
chivalrous.
Alyssa ends up winning the power veto. So congratulations to Alyssa. And now Christian can see that she won something, Pooya.
I know. Now Christian can be very proud of Alyssa. She doesn't lose everything. She secures the first W, and it's Otev no less. So there's a victory for Alyssa. Happy for her.
Do you think Christian will change his lock screen and put a still of her winning the veto on his phone background?
No, I think he already changed his lock screen. So you're too late asking this question.
Yes. Yeah. So what are you talking about that? I think he posted a picture of his lock screen of the list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. He's
And add it to the collage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just the girly girl.
Are you jelly?
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good Schwarzenegger impersonation line, right? My girly girl, you are weak girly girl.
She said that I'm her curly girl.
Yeah, I could run with it.
Walk with it. Walk. Don't run with it.
Yeah. All right. So much we could do. We are really restraining ourselves on the jacked jellyfish of it all. We could do the whole show as jacked jellyfish, but we're trying to be professional.
Yeah, Pooya's wearing a shirt, so we're professional today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Punishments are gonna wrap up tonight, Pooya. That they ended up running it back a little further before they showed when they announced it, and we caught Kylan saying this joke.
I miss Brent. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I miss Brent. Psych.
It's very Julie Chen. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Everyone, please.
I'm joking.
Well, they I think on the feeds they were talking about the fact that Brent, because of the song and the HOH, which I didn't think was all that bad, I guess there was a song that made fun of Brent, and so now they know that America doesn't like Brent. So if Brent was in the house to get BB bucks, he would probably get negative BB bucks, according to what the house guests think.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
surprise to no one. But you know what? Maybe Jack the Jellyfish would have been out first because of the way he looks.
Yeah,
because that would have been too big of a threat.
You're not here in the house anymore. You thought I was just because I'm a meathead, you could get rid of me. I'm way more jacked. So damn jacked. I'm so damn jacked. Frenchie's like, daggone meathead jellyfish.
Which really makes Derek F's crush on Otev more confusing because, meathead's got to go.
Yeah. Wait, can a jellyfish be a meathead?
I mean, yes, right? I feel like what constitutes... It's a fish head, but there's meat in that fish, right? The fish is meaty, so it counts.
Boy, I really sparked a controversy a few years ago when I asked if spiders were animals.
That was...
It's not meat, right?
Fish is meat.
Fish is meat.
Fish is meat?
Fish is meat. Yeah. Are jellyfish meat, though? Because jellyfish are like 95% water.
Good questions, if you ask me.
Yeah. truly getting into the topics of interest, I'm sure.
But the meathead definition to really go into the Webster's dictionary.
Fish head.
Meathead, by definition, is a jacked person. So if the jellyfish is jacked, then the jellyfish is, by definition, a meathead.
Because they're jacked. It doesn't actually matter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like a lot of popcorn muscles on the jack jellyfish because it was just the two arms, all the little tentacles. Clearly, someone skips leg day.
Leg day?
He skips tentacle day.
Yeah. Very much built like a little vase, the jellyfish. Top heavy, bottom very narrow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I mean, we're making fun, but...
Are you jelly?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Yep. Okay. So, all right. We lost the costumes. Time for Kylan to have some strategy convo with Sarah Beth. And Liana, they really set Sarah Beth up here to be sort of the mastermind of this Brittany blindside.
This was super interesting to me because as far as I know, this whole let me tell her before the veto ceremony thing, I didn't know anything about. I mean, maybe it was mentioned on somewhere in the feeds and I just didn't catch it. So this was actually very exciting and interesting to me. If I was Sarah Beth, I would not do that. Also, if I were Kylan, I would not do that.
To that conversation that we see a conversation where Kylan sort of asks Sarah Beth, like, "Oh, what do you think I should do?" And she's like, "Oh, put up Brittany."
Mm-hmm. So you think that was a reason?
No, I don't. I don't. I don't really
Well, you said
understand.
it.
Yeah, Pooya, why did they give us this?
Well, this is what I was alluding to earlier with the, with all the stakes tomorrow with this vote.
The meathead
Who are they
steaks.
putting?
The jellyfish
Exactly.
steaks? The
jelly steaks. Yeah. Who are they trying to give some equity to in these votes? I think very clearly to me, Derek F is a shoo-in to get $100 again. That's happening. BB bucks for DF. Are they trying to situate Sarah Beth to be the new underdog potentially? That's very possible. Take the Britney slot. I don't know.
You think that she's the underdog? I didn't think she came off great. I thought that if it's like, hey, was wondering maybe it's like, hey, America, you like Britney, you gave her 100 BB bucks. We don't want to totally tank Kylan here. Let's make it look like this is Sarah Beth's idea.
Oh, but they totally tanked Kylan, right? With the whole handshake deal that was for naught. Maybe it's like, okay, these two are together. They're linked up. Don't give any of them money, potentially.
Yeah. Because what we know, what the show didn't really get into, is that the $100 from America was a big factor. We really got away from the BB bucks angle of it all here tonight.
The Big Brother editors were like, money?
Change the subject. We're not talking about the money anymore.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, the promotion was all on Otev. No mention of BB bucks anywhere. No mention of Tiffany playing also and losing and just not being. And they're like, let's just like skip ahead through this.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine if they told America, "Hey, remember those votes? Remember who you gave money to? That's why they're going out. You did this, America. How do you feel?" No way they're gonna do that. So I think this is where they kind of push that blame over to SB. Like, you know what, Sarah Beth did it. It was all Sarah Beth. Don't give her the money. It's Sarah Beth.
Don't give Sarah Beth any money. Yeah. Okay.
I would love for Julie to be the one to do it though, subtly, slyly, be
to Brittany to say that, Brittany, actually, there was a reason why you ended up being voted out was because you were too popular and because America liked you too much. That's why you had to go.
Sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I like the idea that, similar to last year where she would be like, so there was an alliance all season that was the mastermind. And behind her, it's just the American flag or the map of America. It's like, America voted for you to get 100 BB bucks. And the house didn't like that. And that is why you were sitting here with me today.
Aw, hear the sound of your fans cheering. Do you hear that? It's the sound of your fans cheering. Classic Julie. I was thinking more scolding America. Like, America, as a result of you giving Brittany 100 BB bucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So should America try to vote strategically and then vote and give the money to the people that they would like to see targeted next?
Okay, I'm obsessed with this because that's how Sarah Beth goes, right? Because there's a whole lot of conversation about DX. All right, Derek X is the one who got the other $100. He's the one who we, really should get out. But what if we gave Sarah Beth $100? Do we think they would shift focus to her? It's entirely possible. This is like 5D chess.
I mean, if people want to help Derek X out this week, should they not vote to give him BB bucks, Pooya?
Yes, it's very odd that this could be the emergent strategy, but this has always been the problem with the fact that they can figure out who's giving money to who. In a very weird, 3 weeks in a row, you vote for Alyssa, but the third time Alyssa's a nominee. This is where we're at in the second week, where maybe the emergent strategy is you do not give the money to your favorites. But then how do you get yourself to vote for someone you don't like to get money potentially? It's very, listen, this is 7D chess at this point with this twist here in the high roller room.
It's not easy. All right. So, all right. Kylan is going to talk to Big D, and Big D is very not thrilled with what Kylan says, that it's going to be Claire coming down and Brittany going up on the block.
I'm trying to stay calm, but in my head, I'm like, Mayday, mayday, alert, alert.
Same. Can relate.
Yeah. Liana, how do you think that Big D would be on the circle?
Mayday, mayday, alert, alert.
Alert. Hashtag hottest veto ever. Hottest Otev ever. Send. Screaming face emoji, laughing emoji, hands covering eyes monkey emoji. Send. Circle send.
Heart emoji, French flag emoji.
Yeah. Fry emoji, heart emoji.
Water emoji, send.
Yeah. Baguette emoji. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Big D doesn't love this plan. So Kylan's getting ready for the veto ceremony. And then this is wild, Pooya. He says, Sarah Beth, you want to let Brittany know she's going to be going up on the block. Give her a heads up. She's like, all right, let me get right on top of that. And so she sits down. She's like, this is my chance for jury management. Row your boat gently down the stream. Jury management is a dream. And she's so watch this. We'll get Brittany's jury vote. Brittany, Kylan's gonna put you on the block. What? Where is he? Like what is the point of Sarah Beth? You tell her, and then she just comes looking for Kylan.
There was zero finesse in this if she really thought she was going to gain a jury vote here. I have never seen anyone be like, yes, can I please be the bearer of bad news? Can you let me break it to them? Can I do that? Like, this is the worst thing. And based on, you've been in this house with these people for how many? 43 days at this point, right? You know that Brittany's not going to handle this news well. There's no way you're going to be like, Brittany, you're going up. And she's going to be like, oh, really? But thank you for letting me know, though. Appreciate that. Because also she prefaced it by saying, Kylan told me that he's pretty much thinking you're going up. So you're the accomplice. Like, I see, like, you're part of the crime now. This is not good for you at all.
The true Robin to Kylan's Batman, Sarah Beth.
Yes.
But I guess she never heard the phrase, the shoot the messenger, right? Because I would never want to be in this position, because all Brittany is going to hear is, I'm going on the block. Of course, freak out mode. And then Sarah Beth doesn't do Kylan any favors by saying, yeah, so you should go talk to him. Yeah, that's why Kylan told you, Sarah Beth, to go tell Brittany. Obviously, he didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so then she's like, where is he? I'm like, is he hiding? Like, where? She's like looking all over the house. And then everybody's like, Brittany, what's wrong? She's like, it's me. I'm going up on the block. So finally, Kylan comes out and she wants to know, Kylan, what I just heard I'm going up on the block.
I was just told to come talk to you.
I would say that without being able to say what's happening, I would say that there are reasons for that.
Classic Batman move by Kylan there.
I have to tell you, without telling you, that I need to tell you. There are reasons.
I'm Kylan.
Yeah.
I don't know what his bat signal is. No, not happy. Not happy. That's a good little snippet of the way that Kylan talks, which also, by the way, the Kylan conversation with Brittany, the deal that they made was very Franken-bit together. So because of very much edited for clarity energy. So, Kylan obviously is in a tough situation regardless. I don't know what you would say to Brittany. I don't know what he thought would happen when Sarah Beth went to go tell Brittany. He clearly didn't prepare an answer. Awkward.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Kylan, is that if there's one thing I've learned about his communication style over the course of this game, is that Kylan needs time to kind of figure out how he wants to say these things. So when this gets sprung on him, when Brittany comes in, of course, there is no world where Kylan's going to immediately be able to affirm this and be like, yeah, so I'm putting you up because I believe you're not good for my game. He's going to try and because he wants to try and find the best landing too, which more often than not in these kind of scenarios might be the worst case scenario, but that's just the way he communicates. So he can't help himself. And ultimately, again, I can't stress this enough. Brittany being the recipient of this also does not help, because I don't think this is what Brittany wants to hear on the brink of going up on the block.
Yeah. Kylan is going to also tell her, like, I'm just doing what everybody's trying to do and make the best moves for my game. And she's just like, well, what does this have to do with me?
I do not blame her at all. Like, it's ridiculous. I just my heart goes out to her in that moment. What's she gonna do? Yeah. I would just corner him in the bathroom and like not let him go until you change his mind. Because if he can't go get the box, right? Can the ceremony start?
That's true. I mean, this is a new tactic that we've seen now 2 weeks in a row, where between Christian last week with the veto ceremony, like if you can't start the veto ceremony, you can't put somebody on the block.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah. And boy, Brittany was hot in the diary room.
We had a deal. I'm not being touched. And then you go back on it like an arrogant little bitch. No, I'm not okay with that.
Whoa.
Tell me how you really feel, Brittany. Damn. Yeah, she's not hold back.
Damn.
Is what was the other insults that we heard on this season that Whitney I'm like completely blanking. The other insult, not arrogant little bitch, the other one. Pooya, you know what I'm talking about?
That Whitney said about somebody else?
Was it Whitney or was it Brent? There was some insult. This is this is really informative. There was another insult that happened. And this is on par with that other insult.
That was a dick move.
There we go. Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Oh, the very new. That was a dick move.
That was a dick move. I would put that on the same level as, well, maybe just little bitch. I don't know about arrogant little bitch. Is it little bitch or little bitch?
We had a deal. I'm not being touched. And then you go back on it like an arrogant little bitch. No, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah. I like the first part too. We had a deal. I'm not being touched.
Hey. Why that? Those two things go together. Hey, we had a deal.
Yeah. Boy. That you could really string together a meme here with Brittany of, here's my fall plans.
You
Oh my God! Shut up! Come on! Oh my God! Stop it right now!
The Delta variant.
We had a deal. I'm not being touched. And then you go back on it like an arrogant little bitch. No.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, she said stop it.
Yeah. Back-to-back episodes.
Back-to-back episodes.
Highs and lows of Big Brother.
That's truly bookends to her story.
So, Rob, when we talked on the Slop a couple weeks ago, we went through all the FCC complaints about Big Brother. Do you think this DR from Brittany's going to get a couple heavily worded emails tonight, or no? What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just checking in. In.
I think that more likely, dear FCC, tonight I was watching Big Brother 23, a show allegedly for families, when there was a particularly muscular jellyfish who was cursing on primetime television. My family will never think of jellyfish the same way. Respectfully yours.
P.S. I hate Chad jellyfish.
And then the jellyfish said this.
You maybe felt uncomfortable raising the money or calling people. I have been raising money my whole life. If it's for Special Olympics or for environmental causes or after-school programs or inner-city games or whatever it is, raising money in my political campaigns, raising money. And I feel always very uncomfortable calling someone and says, can you send me $1 million for my campaign?
Yeah, but it's so bizarre.
That was so bizarre. I mean, and then the Jack jellyfish, who's jacked, had trouble opening a package. Like it was just very, and then yelled at his nephew, I think, if I remember correctly.
My nephew Patrick. Yeah.
He's such a scrawny jellyfish.
My nephew Patrick, I'll never buy a protein powder from him. Yeah.
He hates
All right.
calling people.
So, Pooya, once again, we didn't get the veto ceremony. What do you think? Is this going to be the new staple going forward?
It's definitely interesting because, well, I know that the fallout of this ceremony is going to be pretty fun. So it's nice to keep it tight and put it in for that segment. Now, obviously, my thought now, everything being focused on what are they doing with this edit? Who's going to get picked? I'm trying to figure out if this not putting the veto ceremony here, does it impact those results? And I would think not. I really don't. But I think also there's 2 vetoes that are in play. So maybe they're just trying to push it to tomorrow. But then also what this, I don't know, this makes me feel like we're also not going to see the HOH comp tomorrow now, even though I don't think it's that much
we're gonna
time.
do you have like basically the same exact format where whatever the HOH competition is, whether it's the slip and slide or what, I think we're going to see that at the beginning of Sunday. And I think that the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to get then basically the high roller room ending the Sunday night episode and do the same thing. So look, trying something new on. Did you like the high roller room?
In general, as a concept, it was confusing to put together at first, but I always love it when they try something new, and they got to go from the BB house to the BB casino, which you love a change of scenery.
Okay. All right. So that's it for what we have on the episode proper. Should we bring in the spoilers so we could talk a little bit more about a clearer picture of everything that's going on here in Big Brother 23?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and so for the setup for tomorrow night's vote, we'll tell you who's on the block and what exactly we should expect on Thursday night's eviction as we talk the Big Brother spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action
I remember
should
that
be
in my
taken.
days, in my bodybuilding days, when I was competing, people always said, Arnold, you train harder than anyone else, but you always smile. Why is that? And I said, because I have a very clear vision, and every rep that I do, every set that I do gets me one step closer to making this vision turn into reality. That excites me.
right
Yeah.
They really fleshed out the character. Yeah, of the jellyfish this year. Well-rounded character.
All right. All right. Pooya, so what happens from here? We're going to get our veto ceremony, and then we're going to see where Claire's coming down and Brittany is going up.
Yes. So there were 2 vetoes. One was not used. One was used. Kylan used his on Claire as his big plan was to save her and puts up Brittany. And Brittany pretty much all but donezo at this point in the week. It was a very heated comeback from the veto meeting. Brittany was very much feeling all the feels, crying, held that entire room down while, one by one people came in to comfort her and she was crying. Then she was like crying to Derek F. I don't want to campaign against you. I don't want to do this. And Derek F's like, well, I'm not going to do anything. You've got this. You've got to do it. And this is kind of sad, right? So let me say why it's sad, okay? Because we know why Brittany's going. There is an alliance out here doing an amazing job, killing it, and spearheading the way to the final 6 in lovely fashion, also known as the Cookout. And then we've got people who are not in the Cookout who are going out, but they don't know this at all. So, and no one wants to spill the beans. So they are entertaining the offers coming through from Brittany, right? They're entertaining the offers coming from Brittany. And I think a lot of people look at this and they feel bad because it's like, well, why are you giving them false hope? Especially now that the jury phase has started, don't you want to tell them? But then they've all made an agreement not to say anything about the Cookout. So it is very fascinating to see how everyone's playing, because obviously this is the first eviction now till the end of the season, where everyone leaving, there's a big implication for what end game, where these people now have a vote at the end. How are you going to play this? How is it going to go? So it's been very intriguing to see. But again, Brittany is gone tomorrow. We move.
Yeah. Okay. She was very hot after all of this.
And none of them know how many black belts I have, but they about to see the 4th degree black belt come out. Because I swear to God, I will make hell break loose in this house before I leave.
What do you think? She's going to kick out the windows, Liana?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Judy chop her way through the house, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Do you get a separate black belt when you go up degrees? Don't you just get like a band on the belt?
How many degrees? What's the maximum degrees?
98 degrees.
Yeah.
Nice. I was hoping you'd say that.
I don't know. But yeah, she's gonna like raise some hell.
I mean, step aside rapping. Brittany's got a new career in town.
Yeah.
Sure.
Will she reveal to the house about her black belts before she goes? If okay, Brittany, by a vote of what, 7-1, you're evicted. Like, by the way, I'm a black belt.
See, what had more impact? Bronte talking about being a math genius, or Brittany talking about the 4th degree black belt that she has? I don't know which one would be more influential. I don't think so. I think that my idea is that Brittany's going to leave with pleasantries. Obviously, there's not going to be much there. I don't think there's a rap coming in either tomorrow. Yeah, no rap tomorrow. It's just an exit, and probably a quiet exit.
Aww.
Yeah.
Does she know she's the target?
Well, yeah, but again, it's a lot of people are entertaining these ideas because there's a couple of people obviously that have thought about flipping, right? There's been some conversation about flipping, so that's a thing that's been going on. But she doesn't really know 100% that she's the target here. Not 100%.
I mean, to me, the most interesting thing has been watching the members on the outside of the cookout try to put together this flip, because Claire and Derek X are very much down. They said to each other, we're 100% down to flip the vote out Big D, and keep Brittany in the game. And they're trying their best, but because the cookout there's so many of them, they can all push back in different ways. And so it's kind of been interesting to watch the flip that will never happen try to materialize into something. And there's some conversation about Hannah and Tiffany maybe trying to get Kylan to show his cards by making it a tied vote somehow. But I don't think any of that is really truly going to come into fruition.
Yeah. And I would like to say what I thought with Christian this week with Brittany. Like, she's not stopping. She's going to keep hustling, trying to do something, trying to make moves. So I always love when people go the full John Cena and never give up. So appreciate that from her.
Yeah, keeps them busy.
That's a way to think about it. Yeah.
Rob's like, you're occupied.
Give him something to do.
Good.
Yeah.
Something to do.
Give him something to do. Give him something to play with.
You want everybody just sitting around all day.
Boring.
we get boring.
Yeah.
So don't knock the hustle. She's trying. She's trying.
Look, I mean, that's what a lot of people respected about Christian. He never gave up, kept hustling. So I think the same could potentially be said about Brittany.
Yeah. Pooya, what were some of the things that we really missed from the edited show tonight?
Missed from specifically the edited show. I think the big one is the Frankenbiting of the Kylan and Brittany stuff. Kylan really tried his best not to even agree to anything. So like that wasn't really real. We didn't see nearly enough of Kylan's HOH reign and how poorly it was managed. I do think this was a very tough one for him to navigate. I feel like we didn't see a lot of the movements to which why Claire was now going to be removed, and why Brittany was going to be put on. Obviously, we've talked about it. Everyone watching knows, everyone listening knows. It's because of the $100. So that was conveniently left aside and kept quiet. So those are some things that are happening. And then there's stuff that'll probably happen by tomorrow's episode that are probably worth more. But really, this episode, they wanted Otev to be the highlight, and they were successful in doing that.
going into the next HOH, has there been any talk about who will try to win versus who will throw it?
I mean, from what I know, a lot of people are gunning for it. There was some talk. Derek X today said that I think he was going to throw it to Kylan, but because Kylan X and Derek X, all as the jacked jellyfish of the house, if you will, sort of came together to try to create this, look, I won't go after you if you don't go after me kind of deal. But I don't, I believe that DX would try to win it.
Yeah, I think that the roulette factor of it all has really put everyone into a sense of there's no way for me feeling safe. Even if someone I like winning wins, I could still end up, because it's a roulette wheel. Anyone can end up being the one to leave. And I do think there's been, given that this week, everything gets sorted out and the cookout remains intact, there is some very fun chess games going on. And I don't mean literal chess games, but mental chess going on between Xavier and Tiffany for custody of the steering wheel to see where the game goes. I think Xavier has kind of started subtly being like, I think DX should go soon. I think if he goes, we're in a good place. We have control. We can beat anybody. And Tiffany's like, no, but if he leaves, then, Alyssa, SB, like, they have no one else to target. They'll come target us. And he's like, but if we take out DX, no one will beat us. And she's like, but then we need DX because DX can take them out for us. So they keep going back and forth like that. But they're not like, this isn't a fully like they're disagreeing with each other. It's very cordial, So it is very fun to see all of this start to brew up, because this past week has been a good indicator of, maybe not everyone's not okay with their, their parachutes, their side pieces to the cookout going early. So who is going to win that battle? We'll see next week.
That just makes me think of the fact that the announcer or the voiceover guy keeps trying to make side dishes happen, but no one else is saying it. Like, stop trying to make
Liana?
I like it. It's for the cookout. You got to bring your side dish to the cookout. No one else is talking about it though. Like, stop trying to make side dishes happen.
Yeah. Does every meal have a specific side dish at the cookout?
Oh,
there's a bunch of sides.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of confusing because they're bringing them to be eaten? Because they're the food? Because they're going to the cookout? I don't know. It gets confusing.
Right. Like, I would imagine that there's entree, or I think probably all the food is together at a cookout. It's not like a restaurant, right?
Yeah, I guess like unless it's one of the main, ribs
with a side of Sarabeth.
I mean, we got the jellies today, so that's
then we also have a Tiffany with a side of Claire. Also,
that's when you sit there listening to the specials, even though you already know what you're going to order. You're
like, I love that we're talking about a cookout. We're talking about a cookout, and Rob's out here giving me his best, and I recommend you pair this side dish with this main dish.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't really work. I would imagine all the food is out together.
Like you're rocking. Yeah. Well, yes, but also I feel like, there are some things that are side dishes and then some that could not be a main dish. Right. So there's that kind of, but no, again, there's a reason why the announcer guy is the only person saying this. It doesn't really fit.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we have some questions also. Anything else, BB23, that either of you want to bring up?
In general?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, then let's bring in some questions. Yes, Pooya?
Okay. I'm intrigued because we keep hearing, I think I've heard it a couple times now, different ways to earn BB bucks. I feel like if that's the case, I would like to see that soon. I would like to see where, because because right now the assumption is just the votes are dishing out money. There's a lot of game being driven through that. Obviously, one of Xavier's worries is that DX will be one of the ones who can afford the coin de toss. So potentially, if there's other ways to get money, that can add a new wrinkle to the game, a new level of duplicity to the game that I think would be exciting to see with this entire high rollers room and the BB bucks. So I would like to see more of that. Yes, please.
Okay. All right. Let's bring in some questions. Why don't we start with It's Raining Ben on Twitter wants to ask, do you think the HOH comp will have some way to earn the extra BB bucks, like an extra bucket in the slip and slide? If so, who, if anyone, should go for it over the HOH? Yeah, Taryn has mentioned that's one way that there could be a extra bucket in the slip and slide. But if it's not the slip and slide, for instance, is there any other way that you could imagine that they could win BB bucks?
Well, the slip and slide has been like, I just don't feel that they're going to do the slip and slide just from a practical perspective. I mean, then we're going to get the veto ceremony on the Thursday, like it's just going to start getting pushed back unless it's, even if it's the last week, it doesn't really make sense. Because if you have an endurance comp, then you have to do the high rollers room, then you have to do, right? There's just like,
it's going to be a short comp.
I think that Pooya, they haven't done the one yet where they count stuff. Like, I feel like that's coming up soon.
Ooh, yes. Like, this is 8 buckets of beef. How many buckets of beef are over there? Yeah, I could see that being one.
I'm not sure if they did it last season. They definitely did it. That's the one that Jessica won in BB21.
Jessica, BB21. Oh, yes. Sorry. It all the seasons become one at some point. Yes. I remember now.
Also, like some of the other ones that they could potentially do. Movie posters, that was like a buzz-in one. Also, the like change the clothes, like in the what they did in the yoga room. So I feel like there's a few different of these comps that they could potentially work out where that would fit into like the first like 15 minutes of a Sunday night episode.
But is it that this is for how to earn BB bucks?
Yeah, I'm just talking about potential competitions first. Yeah,
we will move to competitions.
How would you earn them?
So in my head, let's say it's not part of the HOH at all. Let's say it's its own separate thing, because I could very much see them, BB14, we had the claw machine. I'm a big fan of claw machines. We saw the claw machine come through and be a part of the game. Yeah, the claw could be the way to do it. They could, throw a lot of balls through the balcony into the backyard, and then one of the balls has like more bucks in it. There's definitely little stuff like that they can do. I think that'll be better. It adds a little bit more outside of the comps that already are high intensity and have a lot going for them. However, if there is a slip and slide, I think that is a natural thing to do, is to throw in the BB bucks, and maybe that can take the spot of, here's 5K. How about here's 100 BB bucks? Are you going to go for that or not? I think that's the way to go.
Okay. Let's bring in this question from Chuck. Hopefully not Chuck, who runs the construction company. Will the evicted house guests bequeath their BB bucks to a house guest of their choice, like fire tokens? Liana, would you like to see the house guests bequeath?
I'm always down for a good bequeathing. I love to see it. I think that anytime house guests have to make any type of decision or choice, even if it's ones outside of the game, I would very much love to hear Brittany's rap where she bequeaths her BB bucks.
Yeah. Is that even a possibility, Pooya?
See, so I don't think so, because part of the intrigue of this would be if they would tell them up front that this is something that would happen, because then now it's like, ooh, now I might let my my parachute go. Maybe now I'm like okay with that because they'll bequeath it to me, right? Then that becomes a part of it. I'm intrigued. That could be pretty fun. Whereas this way, if they're out and like, oh, and one more thing, Brittany, you can bequeath your BB bucks to a house guest of your choice. That's not as fun for me. I want them to earn it. And that's the thing with the votes. Like the votes, you're earning it from the public, but then earn it in the game. Not like, I don't know, maybe it'll be fine. I don't love it.
I think in a non-brigade cookout style structure of a house, the idea that someone goes out and then they can give to theoretically the other underdog, their alliance partner, the money, the BB bucks, that would be a way to help these twists benefit the underdogs and not just those that are in power. So that's why I would be okay with it. The problem is that, he'll give it to, or she'll give it to Azza and Big D, and that goes to the cookout. So.
She doesn't know who needs the money the most right now. So
exactly.
That's the flaw. Okay. Melissa wants to know, which Cookout member is most likely to turn on the alliance before Final Six? I will add, if any.
It's looking like, if any. There were moments I felt, okay, we're getting close. We're getting close to someone turning on the Cookout. We're getting close to someone turning on the Cookout. But it just never materialized. And when I hear them speak, they're all so passionate about wanting to stick to the six. I would say none if that was a possible choice.
I honestly think that potentially once they got very close to jury, we did see, last week there was some conversations between specifically X and Tiffany where they talked about how they wonder how this feels and how it might look and how are they doing the right thing. The X definitely had a moment in the bathroom where he was having this like crisis of, swag. You're doing this for Swaggy, for Davon, for a bit. They would have killed to be in this position. So this means a lot to them. And I think the combination of both seeing how many of them got the higher number of BB bucks, plus Kylan's letter talking about the community backing them, has kind of reminded them, look at it. We made it this far. Let's continue with the plot. Let's get to 6. Let's guarantee one of us can win. And then we go from there. Now, let me tell you this. Some of them cannot wait to get to 6 just to take a shot at each other. So there's definitely that on the mind for sure. But at this point, as of this week, I just don't see it happening. And I see them continuing what they're set out to do here.
I don't see it happening. I don't think that anybody is going to go out of their way. I guess I could see a scenario where if one of the parachutes ends up in power, maybe somebody doesn't move heaven and earth to stop them, where maybe somebody could be feigning a little bit of oh no, this is terrible. I can't believe it's not going to happen. And then when it actually is benefiting their game. But I actually think that, they're all very, very incentivized to stick with the 6. And I actually think that where even if they're being a little bit unselfish here to get to the 6, I think that they're all going to have a lot of really great opportunities because of what they are on the brink of accomplishing outside of the house. So I think that that they will all be rewarded for their commitment to this cause that they are trying so hard to represent in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think also there's what brings them together is fighting for something greater, which is it's so inspiring to see. That's also how, not that specific reason, but other alliances also function very similarly, where we're well, when are they going to turn? When are they going to flip? When are they going to turn on their alliance? You see people that form these solid groups that then march to the end together. And, this one is, to me, the closest comparison is the Brigade. It's been talked about before. And so even though, they wanted to go after, certain parties, they had this group and they marched on down. And so I think, the Cookout's going to do the same thing.
Okay. All right. Anything else, BB23, to talk about here tonight?
I think we're in for a fun ride. I think it's going to keep going. I think these next 2 weeks are going to be very interesting with this High Rollers room.
Yes.
I think the big thing for Thursday shows moving forward to the finale is keep your eyes out for any member of the Cookout's goodbye messages, because they've made this agreement to not mention the Cookout. So it'll be intriguing to see if all of them stick to it, if none of them stick to it, and how that plays out. So that'll be very fun to see. I'm having a amazing time, Rob, both watching the show, watching the feeds, talking about it on the podcast, both on the live updates and here with you on the recap. It's a great time to be a Big Brother fan. I'm just happy to be a part of it. So thank you.
Yeah. Let me touch on what you said with the goodbye messages. I wonder, I know they've talked about, okay, we're not going to talk about the Cookout in the goodbye messages, but will anybody potentially, and again, they're edited so that the producers really get to pick what they see, will anybody say it without saying it?
That's possible. Allude to it without saying it outright.
Like the victory vote of goodbye messages. Yeah. If you don't really say it.
Technically, I didn't say the Cookout. I just said there was a group and we were working together. So technically, I never talked about the Cookout.
Yeah. So I think that we could potentially see that happen. And again, the goodbye messages have not been in the episodes. They've been in the segment that comes afterwards, where you could watch online on the CBS Instagram that Julie has been doing. Double eviction. Probably we're not going to get it in the next 2 weeks. Do we think we get the double eviction the first week that there is no high roller room?
Honestly, I think that's possible, and I think that should that happen, the immediate comp right after that could be slip and slide. Like I think that's the natural order there, where because you're going to get that quick fast forward of a quick comp and the veto, then you get that big endurance comp right after.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, again, they don't want too much of a backup. I think, and Big Brother loves to, always surprise us. I expect the unexpected. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's
You
what
never
they
know.
say. Okay. Let me tell you about what else is going on here in the world of Rob Has a Podcast. Okay, tomorrow night we'll be live after the episode. Should be a fun one. Taryn, Melissa, and Jacob Jones live after the episode. So join us tomorrow night after the eviction. Then, of course, check out the live feed update coming up on Thursday morning when Taryn and Maggie Morgan is back. They will tell you everything that went on in the Big Brother house today on Wednesday. Got to tell you about the live feeds from Wednesday. Yes. Okay. That'll be tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And of course, if you missed the stock watch on the round table last night, Asia Welch joined Taryn and Melissa to talk through all of the stock prices, joined by the voice of the correct people, Melissa Denny, on this latest round of the stock watch. On Monday night, I talked with Chantel Francis on the slop, talking about a bunch of different things, including Kylan's friend who made out with one of the dudes from The Bachelor, from the Bachelorette. Did you two see this?
Yeah, very surprising. The friend, and then she also the pictures. It was a bunch of pictures of her and Kylan.
Mm-hmm.
No mention of any bachelorettes. So.
Yeah. And then also we talked about some sad news in terms of feuding Big Brother alumni showmances on the latest edition of The Slop. Then last night we went for a long time as we talked about season number 5 in the countdown of Survivor China. Talked with Kirsten McInnes and Brian Scally as we went through it all on the 5th best season of all time on the all-time top 40 season rankings up at robhasawebsite.com. Then, 3 Fast, 3 Furious. I know you two both went through all of the Fast and the Furious movies recently, but only on 1X.
Obviously, we missed the memo. I was absolutely obsessed with this podcast. I almost thought about listening to all 5 hours again because to go through the adventure with the two of you, what you caught, what you took away, what were the major takeaway points? Because I will say I was very impressed. We watched at 1X and you probably caught about as much as I did when Pooya and I were watching all of the Fast and the Furious movies. Highly recommend.
Yeah. And Rob, she's not kidding. She loved this podcast. She's let me know about it.
Yes.
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 I and the fact that you were so passionate, because I really started to love the Fast and the Furious franchise when Pooya and I did our watch. Hold it very close to my heart. Yeah. Obsessed.
Yeah. I got very into it. Yeah. And I was like dying to know that I watched the odd number of movies on 3X and Akiva watched the even number of movies on 3X. I was dying to know what happened. I want to go back and watch the even numbered movies on 3X. I
mean, you complete the
gotta get the set, yeah.
9-tuple. I don't know. I can't remember what that's called.
Try. Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, great stuff there on this week's Renap. And then I got to talk to Mr. 90 Day Fiance on Monday on part 1 of the 90 Day Fiance tell-all. We had a great time. Liana, what did you think of the 90 Day Fiance tell-all part 1?
Well, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I've been, yes, unfortunately I've been busy with Big Brother and work, but you know, anything with Angela coming up to the camera, doing her thing, I need to know what happens. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it too.
Pooya, I hope that Brittany doesn't have an exit from the house tomorrow night, anything like Angela walking off the set.
Oh my God. The Brittany could never. Angela's just from a whole other planet with the way she behaves on these shows.
Screens. She yells at screens.
Yeah. I did see, Rob, that you were introduced to the fact that Angela was on Maury a couple of times. So.
Yes. No, I got that from a couple people on Twitter, and it was wild. I mean, it's basically like this woman's been a star for all this time.
It's very much her brand.
Putting it away.
Yeah, check that out in the 90-day fiance feed. And Pooya will have part 2 coming up next week.
Yeah, that's right. With the person to my right on screen right now. Liana will be coming back. Oh yeah.
So got to catch up.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then Liana, what's going on over on Lego Masters?
Yes. So my sister and I, she is the foremost Lego expert that I know. And she and I have been talking about Lego Masters. We covered episode 1 and then episodes 2, 3, and 4. And we just did episodes 5, 6, and 7. And then we will be back to conclude the rest of the Lego Masters season soon. Which, heard from some of the contestants of Lego Masters. They're listening and enjoying the podcast. So if the contestants are in on it, I think you should be too.
How is season 2?
It's been fun. I think I'm having more fun with season 2 than I did with season 1. I think they worked out some of the things with the challenges. I've been much more invested in the challenges. They did a derby one, like car derby one, which was really, really fun.
Better than the Veto Derby.
Better than the Veto Derby.
Yeah, because I watched season 1 with my older son, and he was really into it. And then I totally had. I guess we're not watching anything else on Fox. That you two have the Fox beat down.
That's right. Yeah, nailing it down.
Okay,
it's no holy moly, Rob. It's no holy moly 3D and 2D though. I'll tell you that much.
By the way, if you have not been listening to Hannah Shapiro from Millennials versus Gen X, has been doing a series all summer long. It's called Just My Archetype, and she explores some of Survivor's different archetypes. And she's done, I think this might be the 6th one that she's done. Actually, is it say 7 on this card? Yeah, the 7th episode that she's done. They've all been really great. This was an especially important one that she talked to Bryce Isaiah and Vince from Survivor 39, and they talked about what it is like to be a person of color who's also a person who is queer on a season of Survivor, and what their casting experiences was like. That I got to listen to this the other day, and you have Bryce there, who is amazing on any podcast that he's on, and he's telling stories that I've never heard him tell before. So it's a really great listen with Bryce and Vince and Hannah over. That's in the Survivor podcast feed, and also in our Rahap Ups feed. Just My Archetype. And then Bachelor in Paradise is back. I gotta watch Bachelor in Paradise. I love Bachelor in Paradise. That's my favorite. I could give or take the regular Bachelor, the Bachelorette, but boy, I gotta squeeze in Bachelor in Paradise with David Spade is the host.
You need it.
That was a wild call. Yeah,
more mess.
Yeah, Bachelor in Paradise is back. Check out what Amy and Haley have to say in our Bachelor Rahap Up feed. And then this Saturday, we're doing new Patron Orientation. We've been doing this every month. It's been a big success. We're going to be talking through how to access all of your patron benefits. Even if you're not a brand new patron, come on out and join us. I'll send out the link to the Zoom call in the next couple of days, and be there with us on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We go through how to access all your benefits, and we do some Q&A and a meet and greet. It's a lot of fun. So much going on in our Patron podcast feed. Told you about the slop, the BB Q&A with Taryn, where we take your calls live. The feedback show for Survivor China is coming up on Thursday, and the Patron 5 for 5. That's all in our Patron podcast feed at robswebsite.com/patron. Check out everything from our sponsors at robswebsite.com/offers. Follow us on our YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button. And then follow us on social media at Rob's Podcast on Twitter and at RHAP Grams on Instagram. Thank you so much for that, Scott. Okay. Pooya, what else is going on for you?
Well, aside from 90 Day, which will be going on, still going strong, I'll be back Friday mornings, of course, talking to Taryn about anything that went on the live feeds on a Thursday. Usually the HOH, the implications of the week. It's always fun. So definitely come through for that. And in a month's time, Rob,
yes,
Masked Singer will be back with season 6. And Liana and I are ready to jump back in on the Masked Singer. I feel like now we finally got a break long enough for me to miss it. And I'm very excited for that to come back. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then besides that, you can find me on Twitter at Pooyaism, and you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya. I stream 3 times a week. It's always a good time. Come say hi.
Yeah. Okay. Pooya, what, any streams coming up that we should check out?
Definitely. Well, you already know what it is, Rob. Friday nights, it's the pad. People come in, they ask questions, whether it's about Big Brother, life, inappropriate, appropriate. It all happens. And I answer pretty much everything. So that'll be a good time. And then I have my Among Us lobby, of course, Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern during the Big Brother season. We have a full 15-person lobby already locked up for this Sunday, so I'm very excited for that as well.
Wow. Do they let 15 people play Among Us at once now?
Yeah, the lobbies have gone up to 15, Rob, yeah.
Wow, okay. And then how many imposters do you have then?
We've never really gotten a full 15 to do 3, but this week might be the time we do 3. Otherwise, it's usually 2.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Pooya, great job tonight. And yeah, people, a number of people said in the chat that you look like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas tonight.
Well, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
You really do. It's the glasses and the hat.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, at the time it was made, people thought Johnny Depp was a pretty cool guy.
At the time, I'll take it. I was going to say, if it's modern, let me take these glasses off.
And a lot of people used to have that poster up. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Style inspiration, style icon.
Okay. Hey, listen, as long as Liana gives me the thumbs up, I'm happy. So.
Thumbs up. Yeah. It's a bucket hat night. Go Xavier. Liana, what's coming up for you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Liana RHAP. In addition to doing the 90-day guest spot, Lego Masters, I'm also covering RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 6 with Beth and Amon. And we are finally getting to this twist that we've been promised all season long, the game within a game. And we're finally up to that episode this week. So I can't wait to see what the game within a game means. I don't know if there are DR Drag Race bucks involved, or we're gonna make some giant mid juleps. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll find out. And then Pooya's got his Fridays, but I've got my Saturdays doing the morning updates with Taryn.
Okay, all right. Well, this was so fun to get to be on a podcast with the both of you here tonight. This was a great recap, and then we'll see you all tomorrow night when we talk about this next live eviction. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.